I'm actually not really sure why I'm sitting so close to my window right now. I just feel like, let's move back. I think this is better, but I forgot to put my plug back after my stream. And that was just really inconvenient, but that's okay. We're gonna leave him here. Oh, sorry, buddy. Hey, y'all. I was gonna start filming this video like 5 or 10 minutes ago, but I just uploaded my Ouija board video where we bury the board, and I got distracted by all the comments. It makes me so sad how sad you guys are, and it sucks for me too, and I know that, and like, I know that I'm just as affected as you guys are, but it makes it so much worse that you guys are like really upset about it, and I'm like, oh fuck, great, now I have to film a video, and I'm like, I don't know what that noise was. But I'm back, and I have more of your guys' paranormal stories that I'm really excited to read. I'm gonna try not to let all that stuff affect my videos, but I'm gonna be honest, it kind of has. It's a really shitty situation, and I've felt a lot better myself. Like, I don't feel like I'm in danger necessarily. Not that I ever really felt like I was in danger, but I do feel like all of that is over, or hopefully close to being over. So I feel better myself, but the whole situation just sucks, so I'm kind of like, meh. But again, we're not gonna let that get to us. I also have no thumbs. I feel like I look like Slenderman when I do that. I've been obsessed with playing Slenderman recently. Well, actually, I haven't been playing recently because I'm kind of scared of it, to be honest. So I haven't been playing, but I kind of look like Slenderman when I do this. Like, my arms just look, okay, what am I doing? Also, fun fact, Kayla is gone. Actually, it's not necessarily like a fun fact, but it is a fact. Kayla officially moved out a couple days ago. I think I've had like 3 nights on my own here. So she's still in Texas for the next week, but she's not living in my apartment for the next week. I also found my new apartment. So I moved into my new apartment in like less than a month, which is insane. I've lived in Texas for almost a year, you guys. How crazy is that? I got my apartment a month early, so like I have time to move all of my shit because I have a lot of junk, okay? Not that you're junk. I didn't mean it, but I have a lot of shit. And he takes up my whole back seat on his own, so I'm gonna have to take a couple trips. But I start moving in a month. How crazy is that? I'm so excited. I am so excited to move out of here. I love this apartment, and I'll always love it because this was like my first place on my own, like 100% on my own. And it's such a cute little apartment, but I'm really excited to get the fuck out because I hate this apartment. Okay, we gotta get started. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Whenever I think I'm doing really good, every time, I completely fucking ruin it. I have a bunch of stories saved. I don't know why I haven't read these yet. I guess I just saved them and I haven't filmed one of these videos in a while, but I have a shit ton. So yeah, I have a shit ton saved, so we're gonna start reading them. I also really want a Diet Coke, but they're not cold yet. I just bought some. Yeah, it's not exactly cold, but you know what? It's fine. We're gonna drink it anyways. Why did the lighting just suddenly get... Did it just go from being like really orange to really blue? So this first story is from Ella, and it says, our new house in the graveyard with the shadow man. So just a beautiful love story. So this story starts way back in December of 2017 when we moved into our new house. In the previous house, we'd always had weird experiences, but this took it to a whole new level. My house is in a graveyard, not to the side, not over the fence, right next to a church and in the graveyard. The house had no scary feeling whatsoever, and we were all so happy to move in because it was such a great area. You're living in a graveyard. It started off really innocent, with the first thing being a poster I had pinned to the wall falling down in the middle of the night somehow. When I woke up to check the time, it was 3:33 a.m., which scared the living shit out of me. That's when I invested in a nightlight. That's important to the story. From then on, I used the nightlight. One night in particular was a school night, and my mom will often bring up my uniform while I'm sleeping. But this night I was up late. She ended up not bringing it in, but I thought she did. This is where it gets really creepy. I have a very heavy and expensive bed, and I felt it shake violently. I had my headphones in, and I was under the sheets, and I assumed it was my mom putting my stuff down. Why would your mom be putting your stuff down, shaking your bed? When I sat up and took my headphones off, my mom wasn't there. There was no uniform, and it was utter silence. I even asked my mom to see if she'd been up there, and she hadn't. The next thing that happened, I was with my sister. Obviously, my nightlight was on and my door was left open this time. My nightlight flickered and switched off, but it's a plug-in, so I checked the bottom and it was all the way turned off. Almost immediately after, the cabinet doors in the bathroom slammed as my sister was walking in and she screamed. These cabinet doors are weighted and no breeze could do that. And the next couple weeks, my mom heard someone say, "How are you?" And my sister heard a woman whimpering in the bathroom. And the icing on the cake was my experience. Again, it was probably around 10:40 at night, and I was washing my face with my headphones in, too involved in the music to notice anything. I open the door and I see a silhouette with no defining features directly across from the bathroom. I paused and stared, and then I ran into my room horrified. Safe to say I don't sleep without a light anymore, and it's weird because I always had an off feeling in that room. Since then, nothing has happened, but I guess we'll see. Great start to the video. I feel like from now on, I'm just gonna be terrified whenever I hear about cabinet shutting because of what happened to me. It's just... I'm probably gonna make a video about all of the experiences that I've had living in this apartment, just like summarize all of it, all the evidence that I have, and then that's gonna be like the end of all my Ouija board stuff. But holy shit. Terrifying. Okay, this story is from Rose, and it says, he watched me for over 2 hours. I think this is more of like a let's not meet story than a paranormal one, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, she said, this isn't paranormal, just a creepy guy, yay. My name is Rose and I'm 16 now. This happened when I was 14. I love these little half paranormal, half let's not meet stories. They're awesome. It was a week before Christmas break for our school, and I'm a huge procrastinator, so I had a ton of homework to do, and my parents had a Christmas party to go to for my dad's work. It was family friendly, so they invited me and my sister to go along. My sister was only 2. I told them about my homework and that since my sister was little, the party might be too much for her, so I would stay home with her and work on my homework and put her to bed. They agreed, left us some money for pizza, and went on their way. My sister and I hung out downstairs, ate the pizza we ordered, and talked on the phone to my then boyfriend. At around 8, I helped my sister to bed, which was upstairs on the other side of the hallway from my room. I turned on her nightlight and then the baby monitor, which was just an audio one. After that, I set up her monitor in my room. I put on my headphones and blasted loud music while I set up my homework for the night. Throughout the night, I could have sworn I heard footsteps in the hall, or my sister's door opening, or even the front door open. Oh my god, I would panic. I went and checked on my sister and everything was fine, so I just returned to my desk. Around 11, I heard my parents' car pull up, and I took off my headphones and immediately heard my mom yell, "What the hell?" She never swore, so I knew it was serious. As I ran down the stairs, I noticed that everything was an absolute mess. The hall closet had been completely trashed, my dad's desk in the living room was gone through, and everything was just disordered. I keep throwing the porg around. I've been holding it in my hand the whole time. It felt like 15 hours had passed, when in reality it was only about 2 minutes. My parents tried to figure out what the hell had happened. My dad pointed out the muddy footprints leading from the back door around the first floor and up the stairs with no exit footprints. Fuck that. That was always my biggest fear whenever I was home alone or if I was house sitting, like when I was in Arizona house sitting for my dad. You're just in this house by yourself, this big house, and someone could be in there and you would have no idea. I would get so panicky sometimes that I would literally check every single crevice of the house just to make sure that nobody was in there, because for some reason I was just there's someone in my house. I know there's somebody in here. If you're alone in a 2-story house, the house is so big. I mean, someone could be anywhere. Someone could be anywhere. Sorry to freak you guys out. I'm freaking myself out. I'm gonna check my apartment now. I'm not really, but you know what I mean. That's when my mother grabbed me and my sister and we all went into the driveway. My dad called the police and he stood with us. The police came and they searched the house up and down. They brought out a man who was wearing, oh my god, he was wearing a mask. They brought out a man, they found the man in their house. They told us it was all clear, but invited us into the house to show us a few things. The first thing being the trail of muddy footprints from the back door. The mud was from our backyard. They asked whose room was at the top of the stairs on the right, and it was mine. They showed us possibly the scariest thing to me that night. In a black Sharpie on the door, the man had written, I fucking can't. There's no way this shit. Oh my god. 9:14, I see you. 9:20, look at me. 9:27, I know you can sense me. 10 o'clock, I'm back and you still aren't paying attention. 10:45, turn around. 10:50, I dare you. I don't care if my phone breaks. I don't care if my phone shatters. I can't do this anymore. Oh my god. The man had stood there watching me. Even the footprint led into my room a little. He was hiding in our bathroom tub. Oh my god. I no longer have my desk back facing away from the door, and I no longer wear headphones or earphones. I can't imagine what would have happened if there was, oh my god, I can't imagine if, I can't even read. I can't imagine what would have happened if he was there for any longer, what his intentions were, and what would have happened if we didn't call the police and somebody went to take a shower. The end. That's the end. Are you joking? I'm stressed. That story stressed me out. I'm done. How do you recover from that? What did you do after that? Did you ever find out? Because I mean, you caught the guys. Did you guys ever find out what happened, or what happened to him? What, did he go to jail? I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned for you. Okay, moving on. This one's from Felicity. I feel like I know how to say this name, but I'm gonna get it so fucking wrong. Felicity. Felicity. I feel like I've had a friend who had this name before, or I knew somebody in elementary school, but for some reason, I don't know how to say it. But the story is called The Headless Man Next Door, if that makes you feel any better. I live next door to a cemetery, so we have a theme going with these paranormal stories. A lot of cemeteries and we're living in them. I never had any experiences too terrible. Sometimes there would be fog over specific areas. It seems like something out of a cliche horror movie. Or there were a few rituals done by teenagers, which is very fun to watch. And a few odd occurrences with the dirty trailer on the edge of the property that I had to walk past in the summers to get my brother from his friend's house. That trailer was torn down sometime last week. No one knows when. I remember seeing it one afternoon, unoccupied, but always creaky, and then it was a pile of scraps the following morning, but that's not what the story is about. I was 5 years old when this happened. I don't remember much about my childhood because I don't really know what's true about it anymore, but that's a whole other story. Wait, send it to me. This, however, I remember perfectly. I sat on our couch in the living room looking outside towards the daycare that sat next to the cemetery. Wait, that's literally, oh, she literally said that's the worst place to put a daycare, right? I was gonna say that is actually the worst place to put a daycare. You are right. Anyways, I watched the nursery worker stroll the children around the daycare parking lot in one of those strollers that seats 4 kids or so. She suddenly stopped, looking towards the cemetery. I glanced over to where she was staring and I saw a tall figure hunched over a headstone, or I thought he was hunched over. My grandmother rose from behind me and clicked her tongue, telling me that it's not polite to stare and that the man couldn't help his condition. But what I couldn't understand was that this man had no head, yet my grandmother chose to tell me to be polite. To this day, she refuses to talk about it. She says that she didn't want me to worry. That's all. No explanation. No theories as to how her eyes deceived us, but if they did, how could they deceive the worker too? The angle she saw it at, she would have been able to see the entire front half of the body. She was petrified. She quickly went inside with the children faster than I could turn my attention back to her. I do remember one thing after the occurrence. That night I heard deep sobs from the cemetery. Slowly, they sounded to be closer and closer to my window, which was directly across from the area I saw the man earlier. Oh no. I laid in my bed, unable to move because of how scared I was. That morning, new flowers were put over the grave he mourned at. Maybe it was my imagination, but I could have sworn there was a petal of the same flower under my window. Same flowers were at her fucking window. No. She put a disclaimer at the beginning of that story saying she knows it sounds crazy and maybe for some reason she just imagined it, but she can remember it so vividly. And I feel like that's how I am with most of my paranormal experiences. Like, I know these things happen and I know I see these things, but they just sound so crazy when you say them out loud or when you try to explain them to somebody that you're like, maybe I didn't actually see it. Maybe I'm just like overthinking it, or maybe it was my imagination, but I feel like at the same time, you know if these things happened or not. You can try to convince yourself that maybe it was your imagination, but at the end of the day, you're like, I did see this and this was like so clear and I remember it so perfectly. How could it have been made up? I feel like all of that stuff will always sound so crazy, so it's so easy to be like, oh, it didn't actually happen, but bitch, I believe that it did. I believe that you saw a headless man in that cemetery right next to your house, which don't know why you were living next to a cemetery. Stop doing that, people. Also, the wasp is back, so that's awesome. But it's a different wasp. It's not the black one anymore. He's yellow. He's a yellow jacket. What is he called? I think it's a yellow jacket. Not a dirt dauber or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I thought I knew wasps, but I don't think I know wasps anymore. I think I forgot. I think this is another Let's Not Meet story. Or like, they're not Let's Not Meet stories. They're not from Reddit, but that's what I like to call them because they're not paranormal. They're just like really creepy stalker stories. So like, Let's Not Meet. Their email is mychemicalromance, 21 Pilots, and Panic at the Disco. I don't know your name. I love you and I'm sorry that I don't know your name. You didn't inform me of your name in here, but I'm reading your story and it's called The Stalker We'll Never Forget About. Me with Jimmy. What was his name? What did I make his name? I think it was Jimmy. They said, I have many paranormal stories, but today I'd like to share a story about this woman and her kid who would stalk my friends and I, but also send me your paranormal stories. My parents had just gotten a divorce and my mom got an apartment for my sister and I to stay at. The area alone was kind of weird and creepy, but I always just ignored it. My old friend from preschool, I was in like 3rd grade at the time, lived there, and his cousin, I forgot her name so I'll call her A. They would visit very frequently and we became great friends. Whenever I could, I would go and hang out with A and we would play ding dong ditch. I hated that shit as a child. That scared. I hated TPing and ding dong ditching because I was always scared I was gonna get in so much trouble. It was like my biggest fear as a child was being yelled at. I actually remember one time, funny story time. I was with my friend McKenna and we were going to ding dong ditch this boy that she liked because he lived in her neighborhood, and her mom literally drove us to go do it. I have no idea why. And she was the one who was going to get out of the car and do it because I couldn't. I was panicking. I was like, I cannot do this. I don't want to be a part of this. And her mom was laughing. Like, she was like, it's harmless. Like, he's gonna know it's us. And I think her mom was friends with his mom or something. Like, it was completely harmless. I think I was probably in middle school too. I was in 7th or 8th grade. I was a pussy, okay? And I literally laid on the ground in the back seat crying. I was near tears. I was so scared. And all she had to do was get out of the car, ring the doorbell, and get back in the car, and her mom was our getaway driver. It's not like we had to sprint down the street or anything like that. Like, her mom was there and in on this, and I was terrified. I was like, I don't want to be here. Sorry. Before we would play, A and I would walk around and talk. One day I noticed this woman and she was pushing her little kid around in one of those toy cars with a handle on it so your parents can push you around, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. At first we ignored it and we kept walking. We started to notice that they were following us around. We thought maybe it was just in our heads and stuff, so we decided to play ding dong ditch. Thankfully the woman and her kid had disappeared so they wouldn't snitch. Oh my god, can you even fucking imagine? Snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches? Bitches get what? Snitches get stitches, yeah. We knocked on the door and ran away and hid where we can see the look on the person's face and they won't be able to see us. I hate you. When the door opened, we see the woman walk out. We practically shit our pants and ran away as fast as we could. A week goes by and we take a break from Ding Dong Ditch, but that woman and her kid kept following us. It got to the point where we're running away and hiding so they'll leave us alone, but they would always find us. That's so weird. Another week goes by and we see the woman and her kid. This time the kid shouts my name and waves. Ew. I mean, not ew, but you know what I mean. It doesn't sound like much, but because they scared us shitless, we made up names so they never actually knew ours. And the fact that the little kid knew was so freaky. Now that I remember, they even asked us our names and we even told them the fake ones we made up. One day I tried telling my mom, and me being a kid, when she brought up the police, I told her it was a joke and left. I'm about to enter my sophomore year of high school and my mom still doesn't know the truth. Oh my that's just, it's so weird. It's just so creepy. Oh my god, actually me and my friend Morgan were talking last night. Hey Wasp, hello. So I went to see my friend Morgan last night and we were just sitting and talking about, I started talking about the dark web because I'm so interested in it right now, you guys know that. But she was talking about this story that she heard on a podcast. Fuck, I don't remember the podcast she was telling me about, I don't know what the podcast was, but it would talk about true crime stories and stuff like that. And one of the stories that was on it was about this guy who lived in an apartment complex, and he would watch this little girl all the time because he wanted to eat her, which I don't know. I knew that like cannibalism was a thing, but I just didn't know that was a thing where they're like, oh, a child, I want to eat you. Like, I don't know, that it's just so fucking weird. So she was telling me about that, and we were just talking about how crazy it is that you can live somewhere like the apartment complex I live in now, and I have no idea who I live next door to. Like, somebody could be watching me every single day thinking they want to eat me. How creepy is that? So that alone, like that whole idea of like you don't know who's around you or you don't know what their intentions are, is creepy. And like the mom and her kid just even following you around for a little bit, it's just weird because you don't know them, you don't know what their intentions are, you don't know who they are just as people. So yeah, I'd say it's very scary. I think that's all I'm gonna read for now, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any other stories, please send them to me. I love that you guys are sending me more Let's Not Meet stories versus paranormal stories. I mean, I love both of them, but I don't know. The stalker ones are just so different and they're so creepy and scary to me. I mean, the paranormal ones will always be scary to me. I can't say paranormal. The haunted house and shit ones will always be scary to me, like forever and always, because I'm haunted. But I don't know, they're just so different and I like both of them and I like getting both of them, so thank you for that. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna plug my Twitch channel even though you guys are telling me to stop plugging it in every single video, but follow me on Twitch. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I just feel like this whole space is just so empty now because I moved the porg. You can just see him better in my streams. Should I just sing whenever I talk about Twitch? Maybe that way I'll stop talking about it as much. I love streaming, you guys. It's so much fun. Oh my god, his eye just fell off. Oh my god, his eye just fucking fell off. I was like, what is that I'm feeling by my foot? But that's unfortunate. Guess I'll fix that in the next video.